In this video, we will cover the different types of access specifiers used in the Java program. We all know that we have seen the three types of the access specifier in the CPP program, that are public, private, protected, and another uh, extra specifier was the friendly function, and that is the specifier known as a friendly. So we have to study them all in the Java programming point of view. So what is the access control? Access specifier, or we know it as a modifier. Access control is the process of controlling controlling the visibility. What I am saying, visibility of a variable or the method. Okay. What does this word visibility means? Visibility is nothing but the scope of a variable. There are two types of the scopes. First is the local and second is the global. Local means within the function and global means all over the function. Means inside, outside and in any spaces of the program. So these scopes can be covered from visibility mechanisms. Means, for example, there are four types of access specifier, and for example, that is public, private, protected, and friendly. So what does this actually means? These mechanisms gives us the area where the variable associated with this name can be accessible. For example, public. Any method or a variable which is declared as a public is visible to the class in which it is defined. Okay, means its scope is limited to the class. But if the method or variable must be visible to all classes, then it is declared as a public, and such variable or methods have to be widest possible visibility. Means, for example, one class is there, for example class ABC, and it has specified the whole class as a public and methods as a public and fields also public, means public integer A, public void calculate, and such methods and data fields are also public, then the class, extending this class or using this class, can have the access to these methods and functions. Next mechanism is nothing but the friendly or default mechanism. What does it mean? A friendly access specifier is a default access specifier when no any access specifier mentioned. Means any very field or method does not specify any access specifier like no public, private or protected, then in such a case the default mechanism is the friendly. What does this actually means? When the public modifier field is defined, then field visible in all the classes regardless of their packages. While if we use friendly access, then fields visible in the same packages but no longer other packages. For example, talking in terms of a package, when anything declared as a public can be shareable within two packages having the bonding between them. But when it is no specified public, then there is no any scope, because when there is no any access specifier, the default access specifier is a friendly and it does not allow one package to give the information to other package. So public having the broadest scope over the friendly mechanism. Next is the protected. When inheritance comes in picture, that is a class and its subclass, then to show the relationship between them, the protected access specifier is used. It is lies between friendly access specifier and a public access specifier. So we will take a quick hierarchy of how to use or what is the broader or shorter scope of these specifiers. First is the public. It is having the topmost scope, means it is having the broader scope. Then comes the friendly, having the lower scope than of the friendly, but protected, having the scope in between these two access specifiers. But how? How it lies between sorry public and friendly? It lies between public and friendly access specifier because all classes and subclasses in the same packages are visible to fields which is mentioned with protected. What I am saying, all classes and subclasses in the same package. Package means a bundle of mechanisms, and the suppose it is a class A and it is a subclass B. Then all the methods fields lies between these packages have access to the methods or functions which are declared as a protected, but only to the subclass. Okay, so all the classes and subclasses in the same packages are visible to the fields which is mentioned with the protected, but only to the subclass in the other packages. That means no subclasses in other package cannot access the protected members. For example, it is only limited to a single mechanism. It is visible with the multi-mechanism function. Means broader terms means class, subclass, packages accessing another packages all have access to the public members. Coming to the next was the friendly. When public is not there, friendly is there. But it is visible in all the classes within the package only. And protected it lies in between them means protected having the specifier like. It is a type of a specifier which can access the class and subclasses in the same package. It is does not means to subclass. So it is having the broader scope, protected having the broader scope over the friendly. Then comes to the next part, that is the private access specifier. As it no name indicates, private is only limited to that part only. Means it is a narrowly visible, means at the last which who is at the bottom of the hierarchy, that is the private members. Private members are only visible only to that class or only to that function part or methods. Private methods and variables cannot be seen by any class other than the one in which they are defined. Means it is only limited to that class, not even visible in the subclass of that class. Private modifiers provide the highest level of protection. Means though it is at the bottommost level of the access specifier hierarchy, it is having the better security mechanisms to hide our data from the outside world. Private modifier provides the highest level. An object primary job means what does actually the class object does? The object's primary job is to encapsulate its data and limit its manipulation. And this can be achieved through the private mechanism. Okay. So this is all about the different types of access specifiers. Now we will take a next mechanism, that is nothing but the inner classes. What is it? Inner classes. For example, we are having a class name as a outer. Okay, and we are having the another class, that is the class inner. Okay, then one definition of the inner class is there, and it is a completion of the outer class. So class defined in another class is known as an inner class. Okay. The scope of the nested class is only within the outer class. Means it can be visible only within this class, not outside of this class. So for that mechanism, inner classes, we can see the mechanism like nested class. There are two types of the nested classes, and that are static class and non-static class. What is a static class? For the inner class mechanism, we have to study the nested class. And what does this nested class means? There are two types, that is a static class and next is the non-static class. What is a static? A static nested class is one which has the static modifier applied. A static nested class can access static members of the outer class directly. From previous some videos, you have got the idea like the static having access to only static mechanism means there is possibility of only static to static mechanism, not static to non-static. So, for example, the inner class is a non-static nested class. Okay, and means for example, class A is static and also class B is also a static. Then it is having access to this or this having access to this class. But if the inner class is a non-static nested class, an inner class belongs to an instance of an outer class, it cannot be accessed. The inner class can access non-static members of the outer class directly. An inner class defines a static method or member. Suppose it is a non-static. For example, we will clear it through one demo, that is, for example, it is non-static means class A and it is a static class B. As it is a non-static, the class A belongs to this instance of means class B belongs to the instance of class A and it is an instance of a non-static. So it does not have the it is a non-static, it is a static. It does not have permission to access the members of this. But an inner class means, for example, class A does not have the permission. It is a non-static, it is a static. It does not have permission to access the members of the static class. But outer class is a non-static class. So it can access the members of the non-static class. Okay. So this is the little bit mechanisms related to the nesting of the classes, inner class, outer classes and etc. In the next some videos, we will take a tour of packages. Thank you so much.